Hello guys, how are you? I hope you must be enjoying psychology because it's an interesting subject, not academically but even from our own life point of view. So today we'll talk about a very crucial topic, that is models of memory. Now first, before coming to the technical aspect models of memory, what is memory? Which thing you call memory? Some people say memory and forgetting. Actually, memory and forgetting is the two sides of the same coin. Whatever you are learning, whatever you have retained is your memory, and what you are forgotten is your forgetting. So I am asking you to learn a lesson. Okay. Now that lesson 80% you have learned, and 20% you are not able to recall what was the lesson. So I say your memory is 80% and your forgetting is 20%. So when we say models of memory, we mean whatever you have retained in your mind. Now let us start. If you stop for a moment and try to imagine life without memory, our cognitive system are the systems for storing and retrieving information. You will see at once that it is truly a crucial aspect of our cognition. If we didn't possess memory, we would be unable to remember the past, retain the new information, solve the problems, or plan for the future. Recognizing the central role of memory, psychologists have studied it systematically. In fact, memory was the focus of some of the earliest researchers in psychology, and one of the pioneer name is Ebbinghaus. Ebbinghaus in 1885 devised nonsense labels for the experiment on memory. He made nonsense labels with the formula CVC. I have given example TGZOP. Now let us discuss that what point we are going to study. Imagine for some time the person has no memory at all. If we have no memory, can you plan for your future? Can you think of your present? Can you revive that what was happened yesterday? No. If I am not able to recall, there will be no planning, no cognitive, we solve dementia. There all problems will emerge in your life because I am not able to recall. I have taken my breakfast, I don't know. I will say, give me the breakfast. You know what happens in Parkinson's? The people start losing their memory. So you have given the lunch. They say I have not taken the lunch. You have the accident. There is a brain damage. What is your name? I don't know my name. Who is he? He is your father, son? No, I don't know. So if without memory, the life will become the hell. You can't do any problem solving, you can't think of anything, you can't plan for the future, you can't plan for the present. So memory becomes an important part of the human behavior, human life. Since it was an important part, so psychologists were aware of it, and they started working on this topic, on this area, learning, memory, forgetting, so many things. One of the pioneers who created history was a German psychologist, Ebbinghaus. Ebbinghaus in 1885 started working on the memory. He asked a question to himself, कि if I am to work on a memory, I must need some material whom I will learn and then recall that what I have learned. There must be some material before me. Then the thoughts came in his mind. Suppose I want to test your memory in the class or offline or online, whatever it is. I say okay, I am speaking and you have to repeat the words which I have done. Ram, Rahim, Ashok, Gita, Sita. You have learned, I have spoken. Now I say, repeat the word. You say Ram, Rahim, Ashok, Gita, Sita. That means your memory is 100%. Every word you spoken in the same order in which I made it to learn. That means my memory is 100%. Ebbinghaus said, no, it is not so. I was able to recall these words because they were already in my repertoire. Repertoire means they were already in my memory storage. Daily we say Ram Ram, Ashok, Gita, Sita, Rahim, Ram, Rahim, we daily say. If we are daily repeating these terms, so they will be in your memory. So how to test whether you have learned or not? So he was in the search of a material which he has never read, nor spoken, never seen. So he wanted a new type of material to test the memory. So to test the memory, Ebbinghaus developed nonsense syllabi by a formula which is called CVC. CVC means consonant, vowel and consonant. Now there are 5 vowels in English: A, E, I, O, U. He said in the middle part put a vowel and on the side put a consonant, it will become a new material. For example, I have given example TEG. Now T is a consonant, E is a vowel, G is a consonant. Z is a ZOP, Z is a consonant, O is a vowel and P is a again consonant. Now we never at your home or in the class remember we say Ram 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 Mala Japte Rahim Rahim Ram Rahim Ram Rahim. We never in the house say TEG, 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 ZOP, ZOP, and if we are learning then there is something wrong with this faculty. So this material is a new to test the material and it was given by the Ebbinghaus, and Ebbinghaus with this formula created 2100 nonsense syllabi. Now a question come in your mind. Now if we say this formula CVC, CAT fits in the formula, CAT but it is a cat, BAT fits in the formula, it is a bat, BOY boy fits in the formula but it is a meaningful. So what Ebbinghaus says, he says you make the words to test the memory and then you create or study their association value. You ask the persons, take the number of persons, say I will utter a word and listening the word you have to speak whatever comes in your mind. I say cat, rat, you said cat, I say milk. Now I say TEG, you are silent. It means you are able to associate cat with the rat but you are not able to associate TEG with anything. So if your association value is more, that word is easy. If association value is less, that word is difficult. So when you test the memory, you want to work on memory, take the words which have equal difficulty, which have of the equal association value. So from there, we start the movement of the testing the memory. Now, what are the, before coming to the models, so many models, we are able to talk about only 2-3 models. What are the stages of memory? Memory is composed of 3 stages: encoding, storing and retrieval. First there must be encoding, then there will be storage and there will be the retrieval. Now what is encoding? The first process in the memory is system is to get sensory information. Sensory information, anything, visual, sight, your sound you are listening at the moment, auditory, it may be the gustatory, it may be olfactory, it may be tactual, whatever it is. So the first process in the memory system is to get sensory information into a form that the brain can use. Whatever information the brain is getting from 5 sensory organs, this is called encoding. Encoding is the set of mental operations that people perform on sensory information to convert that information into a form that is usable in the brain's storage system. For example, when people hear any sound, their ears turn in the the vibration in the air into neural message via auditory nerves, that is called transduction, which makes the people for the brain to interpret that sound. Now what is encoding? Now I am speaking. Now if I am speaking something and you are listening, the sensation is the sound, the auditory, clear? Now your neurons will get this information, will listen, your ears go up from where the sound is coming, clear? The vibration will come and these vibrations will go to the brain through the auditory nerves, that is called transaction. And if the nerve it goes, you will give the meaning. If I am start talking about the emotional intelligence, you will try to interpret this encoding in the emotional context. If I am talking on the memory, learning, forgetting, intelligence, you will understand that in that manner. So, in the memory stage, first there will be encoding. Without encoding, there cannot be the memory. The second stage is called storage. The second step of memory is storage. Storage means to hold on the information for some time. If you are not able to hold whatever you are listening today, how you write in the examination? So, you will have to hold that information in your brain for the some time. Remember, in the beginning I said, if there is a no memory, you can't plan anything for the future or the present. If not, I am not able to hold what happened tomorrow, what was my learning, what was my memory, then how I can use that my previous experience, past experience in planning the future. So, you are the second stage, so is the storage. You are to keep that memory, that sensation encoding for certain period of time. What is that? We will talk about long term, short term memory. And the third stage is retrieval. Retrieval means getting it out, come on, putting it back, call it. The biggest problem many people have is in retrieval, that is getting the information they know they have out of the storage. Now, there is a encoding, I am teaching you, you are storing the information, that is storage. Now, when you will give the examination, you will have to retrieve it. You will have to put the storage in the real platform. Whatever you have learned, you have to write. Clear? If you are not able to write, that means there is a no memory, you are forgetting. So, there will be three stages. First, there will be sensation, then that sensation will be the stored in the memory, and when a time will come for the to test the memory, there will be the retrieval. You have to bring that information out from your storage. What are the methods? We will talk about on the different aspect. So, three stages are clear: encoding, storage and retrieval. Now, with this introduction, I will come to that what are the models. When I say model, what do you mean? What is a model? Exactly how does memory work? That is a model. When the storage process occurs, where does information go and why? Different models of memory have been propounded by psychologists. When we will study the models, we will study from where the information is coming, how it is transferring from one point to the other, how it is going from the sensation to the storage and how it is coming out. The process which it explains is called as the models of the memory. You know, in the science exhibition, you play model of the ear, eye, you show. Now, it is a pinna, it is a this part, it is the inner ear, this is the outer ear, clear? Similarly, here the model will try to explain how the memory works, what is the process of the memory. So, the first model which I am giving you is given by Atkinson and Shiffrin. It is called by the name the Atkinson and Shiffrin model. Many researchers have found computer memory to be useful working model for the human memory. Actually, this is based on the computer memory. If you come to the computer, you know, first you will put some data, then that will be encoded and that will be stored in the computer, and when you want the result, you run the program and the result will come out, that is the retrieval. So, this model, many researchers have found computer memory to be a useful working model for the human memory. This basic analogy played a key role in the development of a highly influential model of memory proposed by Atkinson and Shiffrin in 1968. So, this model is based on the working model, or you can say the computer model on the artificial intelligence, we can say on that basis. These researchers noted that both human memory and computer memory must accomplish three basic tasks. Number one, which I have talked earlier, encoding, converting information into a form that can be entered into the memory; storage, somehow retaining information over varying period of times for the different period of time; and retrieval, locating and accepting specific information where it is needed at the later stage. Clear? Yeah, retrieval means where it is needed at the later stage. You have prepared 4 topics: learning, memory, intelligence and mean median mode. Now a question comes only on the mean median modes. Then we will recall at that time. Retrieval will be not for memory, not for learning, retrieval will be for the mean median mode. Clear? So in the computer same happens. Whatever program you will run, the result which you want, you make it and you get the information. So they say, I have already explained, I will not explain again. They say there will be 3 stages: encoding, storage and the retrieval. Now what this model says further. Atkinson and Shiffrin suggested that humans possessed 3 distinct systems of storing information: sensory information, short-term memory and long-term memory. Sensory information. It provides temporary storage of information brought to us by our senses. If you have ever watched someone wave a flashlight in a dark room and perceived trails of light behind it, you are familiar with the operation of the sensory information. Sensory information, simply sensory information. You see, sometime in the sky we see a light, which you know, if the a program of the magic is going on in your city, they give a flashlight. We say it is coming from that circus, coming from that program. Now this is my sensory memory, simply I have perceived the light. Then short-term memory. A second type of memory is known as a short-term memory. It holds relatively small amount of information for a brief period of time, usually 30 seconds or less. This is the memory system we use when we look up for a phone number and dial it. I will explain with the third long-term. Long-term memory. It allows to retain vast amount of information for a very long period of time. It is this memory system that permits one to remember events that happened a few hours yesterday, last month or many years ago in the past. It is a long-term memory that allows one to remember factual information such as capital of one state, currencies of the countries, etc. Now sensory memory is clear, short-term and long-term. Sensory memory, short-term memory is that which retains for a shorter period of time. Sensory memory is that where the amount of learning is less and the testing period is too short. Long-term memory is that where the amount of learning is long and the testing period is also long. You ask, sir, tell me your mobile number. I say my mobile number is 98280 and 33916. I repeat it. Now you have just learned, and then you say, sir, what was 982803? What was next? This is your short-term memory. 9828003 remained for 30 seconds because you listened my number once and you are testing at just after few seconds. Long-term memory, you have a telephone number at your house for 10 years. Now then that was a simple PNT, the old fashioned, no mobile, then you have remote disconnected that phone. Now after 5 years I say, what was that number? Now I am trying to retrieve the phone number which was at my place 5 years back. What is when we got independence? We didn't get independence today. We say 15th August 1947, we celebrate our Independence Day. This is my long-term memory. Clear? What happened yesterday? What happened few years back? This is long-term, and what happened just now and you are trying to recall, this is your short-term. So they said, since they have talked about 3 types of the memories: sensory, then the short-term and then the long-term. Now Atkinson and Shiffrin proposed that this involves the operation of active control processes that acts as a filters, determining which information will be retained. Information enters into sensory memory when it becomes the focus of our attention, whereas sensory impressions that do not engage attention fade and quickly disappear. So when memory is concerned, selective attention, that is our ability to pay attention to only some aspects of the world around us while largely ignoring others, often plays a crucial role. You are getting so many sensations. Are you able to put all the sensation in your brain? There will be the process of filtering. Now whatever I am speaking, you are listening. Now suppose this is, online class. This is not a offline class. Now, at your home, you are listening my lecture. So many informations are coming, so many sounds are coming in the drawing room, so many sounds are coming from the outside, but you are filtering out all sensation and concentrating on my lecture. So, they say, so it is a selective attention. So, you filter and then you try to put in your storage what was that. In contrast, information in short term memory enters long term storage through elaborative rehearsal. When we think about its meaning and relate to other information already present in the long term memory. Unless we engage in such cognitive effort, information in short term memory too quickly fades away and is lost. In contrast, merely repeating information silently to ourselves, that means maintenance rehearsal, does not necessarily move information from short term to long term memory. In sum, the Atkinson and Shiffrin model linked the study human memory firmly to the general information processing perspective that is an important aspect of our all cognitive of the psychology which we are teaching today. Now listen. Now the information which is coming sensory, if it filtered out. Now short term memory. If I am rehearsing that short term memory, I am making practice, that will be converted into the long term memory. What I said just now, if the amount of learning is more, that is long term memory. When I am making rehearsal of a number 9125, 9125, 9125, I listen 9125 for once, short term memory. 9125, I am making rehearsal 9125, 9125. Now this rehearsal will enhance the amount of learning and it will go to your long term memory. So from short term memory to long term memory, Shiffrin Atkinson says you make the rehearsal, and making rehearsal practice that will go to your long term memory. Now I will talk about the second model that is known by the name parallel distributed processing model. You see why there are so many models, because everybody tries to explain in his own way. And to understand any phenomenon, there is not only one answer, we have so many answers, because it is a human behavior. It is not pure science, clear? Memory, depends on number of factors. So I am telling you this because a question may come in your mind, sir, why not only one model? Because everybody will perceive the things in a different perspectives. So parallel distributed model, while it is common to refer to the three systems of information processing model as stages of memory, the term seems to imply a sequence of events. While many aspects of the memory formation may follow a series of steps or stages, there are those who see memory as a simultaneous process with the creation and storage of memories taking place across a series of mental networks, and this was network stressed across the brain, and this model was proposed by McClelland and Rimmelhart in 1988. In the first model we talked about the three stages: encoding, then the storage, and then the retrieval. First, second, third. They say no, these things can run simultaneously. So this is another view which explains the point of the memory. Now what is the model? This simultaneously processing allows people to retrieve many different aspects of a memory all at once, facilitating much faster reaction and the decision. This model of memory, derived from the work in the field of artificial intelligence, is called the parallel distributed processing model. In artificial intelligence, parallel distribution processing model is related to the connectionism, the use of the artificial neural networks, and to explain the mental abilities of the human. Connection means what? Neurons connected with each and every the other. Now this model which we talked about, they say no. What happens when we start talking? I am asking what is memory, then the point comes, what is learning, what is this, what is that. Not only one point you are able to retrieve, you are able to retrieve simultaneously the several aspects. That means the neural network is connected with the each other. So, this model was proposed the second model which we tried to explain, and we said parallel distributed model. Now, the simultaneously processing model allows the people to retrieve many different aspects of the memory all at once, facilitating much faster reactions and decision. This model of memory is derived from the work in the field of artificial intelligence. I have already talked about this concept. And other model is multiple components model of working memory. Working memory is the workbench of consciousness, the place where information where we are using right now is held and processed. How precisely does working memory operate? Though there is a not total agreement on this issue, there is a growing evidence for a model proposed by Baddeley 1992. Baddeley proposed a model which is called multiple components model, and this model explains about called as the working model. Now, though there is not that much consensus, but still people have proposed it. According to this theory, working memory consists of three major parts: phonological loop that process information relating to the sound, of the word phonological, that means the sound; visual spatial sketch page that processes information, visual and spatial information, that is information about the visual appearance of the object such as color, shape and where they are located in the space; and central executive that supervises and coordinates the other two components. They say there are two types of the information. First is related with the sound and the second is with the visual. Visual and where they are located in the place. For example, if you look at the sky in the night, you say this is a moon, this is a moon. Now you say where is the moon? You say it is in the sky. You are not saying moon is the earth. Now you are perceiving that moon in the sky, that is the perspective, that is the environment, that is the where it is located. Now you see our national flag, you say tricolor, where is the color? You have located the space that where the first, the second and the third is coming. Now when you look, it is a visual information, and if you listen, it is your auditory, that is a phonological information, and processing this is called as the working model proposed by the Baddeley. I have shown it by a simple diagram. There is a phonological loop and then the visual loop. Now they are coming together, and our central system brain that integrates and regulates, and that tells you what is this, and we are able to recall. Now you see, I am speaking, this is visual, this is auditory, phonological. You have seen the figure, this is visual. Now your brain will integrate, will analyze both the stimuli, visual as well as auditory, and then you will say this is, we are talking about the working model. We are not talking about the Atkins-Shiffrin model. This is the model which is given by the Baddeley. So in this way, various models have come to us which explains the memory. Today in this lecture, I have tried to tell you what is memory, what is forgetting, what is short term, what is sensory, and what is the long term memory. That model was the model which was the first Shiffrin and Atkins model. The second model was talking about simultaneously giving coming information 1, 2, 3, and this model lastly we talked about, and that was your sound, visual, and then integration in the brain, the neurons connectionism, and then we are able to retrieve what we have learned. So this was about the models and how we will recall. There are different methods we will talk about later on. These methods to recall your memory, we briefly, when you come to the long term memory, 4 methods: recall method, recognition method, saving method, and your reconstruction method. And when you come to the short term memory, then there are different methods, probe technique and the other techniques. In this way, we can able to understand how the human memory works. So this was about your working models of the memory.